Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the With the English podcast, talking all things basketball. Bit of WNBA today we got. It's Kof here in the studio. We got my man Ash
Yo,
and Amps again.
yes, yes,
How you
yes.
guys doing? Good week.
Rough week, rough week for me.
Got
But yeah,
life, man.
You lot are both.
adulting.
You lot are both in black. Is it a funeral?
It's been one of them ones.
Well,
Weather change, my mood
it
changed.
was a good start to the week, as you man know. But yeah,
Yeah.
popped down yesterday.
Sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, NBA season is about a week away.
Yeah, man.
I think where we should start today is looking at the MVP race, or well, who we think is going to be topping that race, or who's going to be there or thereabouts. I know Amps, you're gonna mention Dame, but I just want to stay here before we even get started. Dame is not going to be in the MVP race.
Fine, I will mention.
Look, let's be clear about one thing before we get started. Dame is with Giannis. If one of them two is gonna, I think it's very rare for a team to have two candidates in the MVP race. If it's one of them two, it's gonna be Giannis. It's not going to be Dame. Like, let's just be so don't, because in one of the pods you were getting onto him and saying he's got to start. He's got to start fast, and he's got to be in the MVP race, and he's got to do this, and he's got to do that. Like,
Yeah.
I hear it,
Mm,
but Dame MVP,
mm.
it's not happening.
Yeah, but remember what I was really trying to get, what the point I was trying to make was more to do with now that he's in a situation whereby there should be expectation of him to do more than what he was doing at Portland. He can't just coast through the season, averaging his points and whatever, and maybe finishing fifth, sixth, seventh. Now I'm saying, look, he needs to be dominant, whatever he's doing, whether it's leading the team in assists or playmaking points, whatever it is. But he needs to make sure that come the end of the season or when it's crunch time, Dame Dollar needs to make sure that he's talked about like he believes he should be talked about.
Okay,
Understand like that?
I hear that.
I think a good season for Dame is 25 plus, and he should be hovering around 10 assists.
Yeah, 100%.
The weapons he's got now. You got outside shooting, you got easy drop off to Yanis, you got pick and roll game. So I mean, but like you said, there's two massive superstars there on big contracts. Like it's going to be difficult for them to get the MVP. And this is me right now. It's duos apart from the Suns, who've got three big guys. So then for me, I'm looking at who were the poor teams last year that got two superstars. So you look at the Mavs. So are Luca and Kyrie going to become team players and step up and play winning basketball?
Nah, Luke will be my pick
Then
still.
Luca's got the complexion for the connection for the MVP. You know what I'm saying? He's got the European vote.
I
No,
don't know if you're allowed to say that. bro.
no, I'm trying to. I mean, like, if he has a good season, he will have the European vote.
Nah,
He's got the European vote, so that's a big. We've seen it with Yao Ming. You've seen it with
Yao Ming's not European, bro.
Petulia.
no,
So
I hear what you're
he's got
saying.
a whole country in the region behind him. So if he's having a good season, and this thing goes round in turns. So Embiid got it last year. It wasn't really MVP caliber compared to Jokic. So who's next?
Yeah, Luka Doncic might be the name on the list.
Luka's next.
Or if you want to look for maybe a more of American, 'cause remember Jokic, Antetokounmpo, like they've been dishing it.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Embiid
So
is
you
now
think
American.
so?
Oh, okay.
Embiid is now
No, no,
American.
no disrespect, but maybe they may look at JT.
Mhm.
Maybe Shay's Canadian. I was even going to say Shay, but Shay Canadian. So maybe look at JT to push his profile onto that stage whereby okay, well he has to deliver the goods first, of course, but let's say Boston and they've got superstars everywhere as well, or they've got top end stars, so that might be difficult for JT to come out of Boston looking like the MVP candidate because again we just mentioned well if Dame and Giannis are together and them two are top end stars in this league, superstar talent players, then Tatum, Brown, Zingis, Holiday. I mean, how is he gonna rise to the top and show that? Well, even in on that team on that roster, he should be considered. So it could be difficult for him.
Gonna have to be number one seed. If you're not number one seed in the East, you're not going to be MVP.
But I think just touching on Celtics, right? Is Tatum clear one?
100%. You know, that's
I
my
think
guy.
he has to be after the last playoff.
JT's 100% clear. Who's number one? If you know?
Because I've always looked at it as like a not sort of like a not even a 1-2 punch, because that means somebody's one and somebody's two. More of a like a 1A and a 1B, like the Tatum and Brown. Like I've never really looked at them as Tatum is. You see, like for example, I didn't want to bring him up, but I'm gonna have to bring him up. If I talk about Golden State and Steph and Clay, you always had Steph was always A side. You always knew Steph was one, Clay was two. That was always the case. With Tatum and Brown, it was more like, well, he's won these times. He's Brown is one other times. So, is he really a clear? What I think you made a good point. The last playoff run, yeah, cemented it, kind of that. But if Brown starts the season on fire, maybe he wants to put himself back into that mix. I mean, he's in line, or he's just got a big contract.
Yeah, just got a big contract.
Just got the big contract in it, and JT's in line next year, I think.
He's due.
So yeah, like he just got the big contract. He might be like, "Right, I've got the money. Let me show what I can actually do."
It's true. I mean, we saw towards their last playoff run his struggles. We know the type of player. He's a very good two-way player, but we saw his struggles, which made it. And even in the finals with the Warriors, some struggles again. We saw now we're looking at Brown as okay. You're on the verge of getting to that top tier, that top table. But I think the reason JT's viewed as just being a little bit ahead because he came into the league a year after. I think since he's been in the league, he's been consistently at that level and steadily rising. I think Brown came in, he was sort of like he plateaued a bit. It was just kind of steady Eddie, and then he sort of made a jump, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's why I say JT is number one. Tatum is number one. And even when they're discussing things like Team America, potentially Paris, they're talking about JT in the starting five. That's where his name is now being mixed with.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
that should show you whereby how he's viewed across the board now, where they're saying, well, if they're gonna bring a starting five to the 24 Olympics in Paris, they're looking at Bron, Steph, KD, JT, and Embiid, then it's like, okay, well, that's where JT now sits. That makes sense.
Yeah, which then means that he's now the guy they're pushing into the Anthony Davis. So where does that leave AD? Because AD should really be taking over the Lakers and making an MVP run. He said he wants to play 82 games. If you're going to play 82 games, you need to perform at MVP level.
I was gonna ask about AD. Do we think AD's in the race?
AD has the talent to be in the race, in my view. I know Ash don't like him.
He don't have the talent and he don't have the performance.
According to what though? What do you mean talent? Like, if you got
I take that back. He has the talent. He does not have the performance. I don't ever believe he's going to have
consistent performances, because before he got traded to Lakers, even with his injury history at the Pelicans, AD balled out. It wasn't like he was unknown. He was, since he came into the league, he's been balling out offensively and defensively. It's not like it's a new thing.
It just feels empty to me what he's doing. It doesn't. He's balling out, but his team's still finishing outside the playoffs. Obviously, he wasn't at the best franchise, but by hook or by crook, you got to drag yourself into playoffs. And even when Cousins got there, I still thought Cousins was the better big man. So as he should be, he was more experienced.
That team looked good. That they were looking.
You know what I mean? They did get to the first round, and they destroyed. I think Rondo destroyed Dame that year.
Yeah, they
swept
somebody. Yeah, they Trailblazers Dame.
Yeah, and then somebody got hurt again, innit? So
yeah, Cousins.
Yeah, so there you go.
Season ender.
But I don't expect the MVP to come from the Lakers.
He did get hurt, then he came to Golden State. So obviously he's talked AD, he's talked Tatum. Obviously the big hitters are still going to be there and thereabouts. Your Embiid,
Steph.
Jokic.
It's not a big three anymore. It's Steph.
It is. You're right. I think Steph should be in the race. I'm going to be honest.
I think that's going to be scoring champ.
When I look, he was scoring champ. What, 2 seasons ago? Or was it 3? I can't remember. He beat Dame. Just remember that. No, it was not Dame. Bradley Beal. But I think Steph should be in the race. Definitely. When you look at the team he's got, it's not like you're saying. It's not a big three anymore. It isn't Steph, Draymond, and Clay are all kind of at a sort of an even kill. You know, KD's not there anymore. So I think Steph should be in the race. I want to ask you guys about the likes of Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I like Anthony Edwards. Still, I think he's got a lot
Yeah,
of potential.
he showed a lot of improvement in FIBA
Yeah.
in his game. Showed leadership.
I
Showed
see
a bit
him
of
going-
maturity. But I think it's too early for him.
Too early?
Possibly, yeah.
And I'm not sure the Timberwolves are going to make enough noise.
What about Shea SGA?
Potentially, he's in the
He's
running.
in with a shout, depending on their record.
Yeah,
But also Fox.
I
If
reckon.
Fox makes another climb like he did last year,
Yeah. Nah, do you know what?
outside chance.
If OKC can crash top 5 CJ, which is a long shot for them, and Shea's doing mad stuff, yeah,
I think if they make automatic playoffs, so top 6, if they make automatic playoffs, not going
might
into
need to
playing.
secure home court at least. Top 4.
Nah, man, I think you got to be a top 4 seed this year to get MVP.
That's fair.
There's a lot of balance in the league. So
Obviously
top 4 seed.
he's suspended at the moment, but his gameplay in itself is excellent. So I don't think you can have this conversation, even though he is suspended. I don't think you can have this conversation without mentioning Jar. Like, if he comes back head screwed on, I don't know exactly when he's back.
What's he sitting down for
I
another
think
22?
26 games.
He's got to play 65 games to be in the running.
Yeah, see.
So he's
Just
just
out.
he might just be on the
Ja
precipice of it.
Morant will not be MVP.
Not this.
Well, I don't think the league would
I think
allow
the
it.
talent of
The
Jar.
talent of him could, let's say Jar doesn't get suspended.
It's politics. You know the NBA. There's no way Ja will be MVP.
No, that's fair. That's fair. No, and I agree. But I'm not looking at. I'm just looking at his talent. If you have the talent, his profile of talent, if that's in somebody else, and they're playing 82 games, is that player in the running for the MVP conversation?
Yeah, but I think if it's 26 games, that means that he's not eligible.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm saying Jar. Okay, I'm just talking about his talent, not the person.
Yeah, it's talent obvious because we've seen it with Derrick Rose, the youngest MVP ever. So it's the similar sort of talent.
Okay.
I think as well. Don't one thing which has been unfortunate for Kevin Durant this last few years. Yeah, the guy's numbers have been mad. Yeah, statistically, his numbers have been crazy, but he misses a lot of games due to injury, which therefore keeps him out of the running automatically for MVP. Yes, he's currently on a team where you have Devin Booker, who is an MVP caliber player. But again, being on that sort of team where you've got these mega stars, it is difficult to be the standout. If one of them, and it would probably take Booker to say, okay, well, you're older, you're on your last sort of couple years running this league, maybe make a push for that MVP. If Booker takes a little back seat and says, all right, do your thing, rack up your numbers, take us to the top 2 seed in the West, then it's his.
I've watched a couple of Suns games. It's not gonna go. Booker's number 1. KD's 1B.
That's mad what you just said.
No, the way they're playing,
That's mad.
what I mean by that is,
That's impossible.
what I mean by that is,
KD's
most of
rocking.
the plays run through Booker. He's handling the ball.
What would you expect?
He's putting up the shots. But the thing is, with KD, he can just get his shots anywhere in the motion, broken plays, like just a drop off. So that's what I mean by when I say Booker's 1, as in the offense is gonna flow through Booker, like it did through Westbrook, and KD just ate where he ate. KD he can feed off
Yeah,
scraps.
but he's still scoring champion like 4 times. Okay, so
I'm not saying he's not gonna score. I'm just saying that
he was MVP as well.
it's gone. The offense is more gonna run through Booker.
Booker's gonna have the ball, yeah. But Bradley Beal will have to take responsibility as well when they're doing. I mean, the whole not having a point guard thing is their business, but like you said, what will happen with these guys? Yeah, good defensive teams will stop them just doing their little simple sets. And what they'll do is they'll end up panicking late in the shot clock and look for KD to just conjure up something, which they shouldn't do, but they're going to end up doing it because he's the one that's going to get the best worst shot.
They're playing fast, you know. They're playing.
I saw
they're cutting on defense and then quick transitions.
Who's there? I saw the
But that's the difference.
We're gonna talk preseason in a minute.
Yeah.
So you reckon KD's, if he stays healthy,
he needs to be healthy. I mean, the guy hasn't been fully. He hasn't played about 65 games for a while now. Again, I've been following his career from the jump. The talent is there still. I should tell you, he's had a drop off. Yes, he's had a drop off to do with age. He's had a whole heap of injuries through his career, but I still think that he's got one more run in him, whereby he's gonna say, you know what, guys, don't forget that I'm still this level, and that level is still when it's all said and done. If he does that, it's still crystal. There's nothing else like it in the league. So that's down to him. He might say, you know what, I got these two young bulls here. Let them do this work. We'll get to the playoffs.
Just before we move on, any jokers in the pack?
I was about to ask about Wembanyama.
That guy.
Nah. Come on, man.
Why not?
Can't be
what's the
MVP in your first season.
What's the reason you can't be? What?
You would have to be number one seed in the West.
Wemby. Oh yeah, no, the Wemby. I'm a fan of.
But why can't you be
MVP?
But why?
Even me, I would say
Theoretically, you can, but nobody's that good.
coming into the league just MVP now.
Nobody.
They won't allow that. That's a mockery.
I saw something today, right? I saw something today on Instagram where it said in the next like 3 or 4 years, we're gonna say that Wembanyama or Wemby is the best defensive player ever.
Possibly.
Well, they got all kinds of stats and metrics now that show that's Rudy Gobert, so I'm happy for that to happen.
Yeah, possibly. Remember, I made that shout in the group chat. You like jumped on me. I said because defensively, he doesn't need to do a lot. I've seen him already in preseason. Guys run past him. They think he's out of play, rejected. You're like, that's not even possible. That's 2K stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of health, somehow magically Zan Willison could stay healthy.
I've seen him in preseason.
And he goes,
Yeah.
I haven't seen him.
I saw him
I haven't
in
seen
preseason
him.
yesterday.
But if he can put up the numbers he's putting up before he got hurt, or even better,
You can't keep it. Defenders can't stay in front of him. It's impossible.
So-
Just bodies him out the way.
What? Just like you're joking in the pack for MVP?
if you can play like 65 games, 70 games,
It'll be a crazy turn.
stay out of problems in the press,
Mad thing. Yeah.
keep the weight down. Yeah,
Nah, okay.
No,
Cool.
Zion is credit to him. Yeah, he's had his injury troubles and his personal, stuff going on, and he's a young character. He's a lot of us expected number one pick. A lot of expected. He's gone to a city where, for him, probably not the best. The food is crazy. They got all kinds of stuff going on there.
Entertainment is crazy.
Entertainment is mad. He's indulged beyond his wildest dreams. It's time for him now to knuckle down and make a career out of this and hit the level where we say, yeah, that's what we expected when he was coming out of college, and this is what we thought he was going to be. Because I know I wasn't very his biggest fan, but what I've seen, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's real talent there. And within the league where you've got maybe 15, 20 players who, no matter what his defensive schemes you got, are just difficult to stop and slow down. Zion is probably in there because you won't find many defenders that are able to stop him or match up with him physically and athletically. Springy as hell, he just jumps and dunks over everybody. So it'll be a challenge for him to be getting up there and make himself known.
Before we move on, I want a prediction. Just one player from each of you. Amps. Just one player. If you were to pick
one player,
you did say Luke. Are you changing your man?
Nah, I'll go with Luca. I think Maz will be respectable, said in terms of results wise, and I think Luca's just gonna do Luke stuff, just drag his team.
he looked really good.
Yeah, I think he was 31, 8-8 last year, around about that.
But in
Which is-
FIBA, he
Oh,
trimmed
yeah,
down.
yeah,
He
yeah,
looked
yeah.
really good.
He's at 24. I mean,
Yeah.
ceiling is high for him.
We've been disrespectful. Jokic is going to be MVP.
Oh, I was
We've been
waiting.
disrespectful.
So when you said joke in the fact, I thought you was talking Jokic.
No, it was a joke in the pack. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, that would have been a good.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
I was
Jokic,
slipping still when on my bars, but
Jokic.
it's going to be Jokic. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Jokic as well. I'm gonna
Nothing
go
like
Jokic.
it.
You're not backing your boy Steph.
I think it's not a cowardly thing, bro. I don't think. I think if I was to pick between Jokic and Steph, I think Jokic will take it.
Why?
I think
They'll have a better record.
they will.
And
Definitely.
people thought that he was robbed last year of triple MVP.
Embiid, he did his thing, man. I mean, he wasn't.
Did he?
He did his thing.
He did, man. He put up
No,
a historical-
Embiid
he had
did
a
his thing.
historical season.
He did his thing. No, let's not take the credit away from him. He did his thing, man. Embiid. It's hard though for him because you would think for Embiid, sorry, it would be nice to put yourself back on that level. Say, look, I won it last year for just so there's no doubt I'm going to do it again. But the way Philly have entered this,
you need
And he's probably lost the African vote as well.
to win MVP. You kind of need a decent supporting cast at least.
it's Philly's still
He's
decent.
still got Maxi and
Maxi's there.
and what's his name? J. Cole.
Sure. Pat Bev's about. I mean, they still got
Bev, some leadership.
they still got
Okay.
decent stuff there, man.
Fair. Fair.
So yeah.
But
J. Cole, I meant to buy Cyrus people.
so Doncic,
Luka, yeah, man.
Jokic.
This is early season.
Early season.
Yeah,
I was
no-
gonna say Steph, but Jokic.
Not one dribble yet. We're just throwing names out there. Yeah,
Nah,
things can be retracted. Like that. Can change after a few games like that.
Guys, you'll get to know this is Amp's usual disclaimers that he does for any prediction that he does. Usual disclaimers all the time.
I'll be changing by November still.
So obviously moving on preseason. I've watched a few preseason games, mainly Golden State. But I did watch Zion yesterday. I think I watched the first half. They looked pretty good. He looked pretty good. He looked immense. I've also been watching a lot of the Spurs. Wemby, they beat Bucks yesterday, and it wasn't it wasn't close. He was like,
See that clip when he did that stretch dunk, and the guy was just looking at the camera. Like,
That was when they played Heat.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Nah, I think Spurs look good, but obviously it's preseason.
Yeah.
Like we know that the people are just getting their reps in,
Yes,
but it's nice to just see the teams out there.
Speaking of Wemby, do you believe that Pop didn't run no plays for him? He only ran one play for him.
When was that?
A couple of games back, Pop said he only ran one play for him the whole game. I think it was a game after OKC.
Still.
I think he's a cap.
I think what he's trying to do is lower the pressure on him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you see how they're using him, he's using like a wing player, and that's in its. I always predicted don't put him at a 5. They're using him like a 2 guard, 3 guard, which in itself will cause havoc for everybody, because unless you've got something similar and you can stick that person on the perimeter to guard him, you've got no hope in hell.
Yeah, I think Pop said he'll play both positions. He'll play 4 and 5.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's like a wing 4, which is kind of like Giannis, somewhere between Giannis and KD.
Yeah.
But what it is with that, I agree with that as well, because these young guys come in the league. You saw it with Chet last year. They try and bang with these guys. Broken. Your bones ain't ready yet.
Yeah.
You haven't put on the right amount of muscle. So
did Chet play last season?
I remember red shirt.
Yeah,
because he tried to battle LeBron and got excited. Then you see it with a lot of these tall, slender guys early on, or they try and put on too much muscle too early, and then they have joint problems like Porzingis. It's better to just stay light and build slowly like Giannis, and then you'll have a better, longer, more healthy career.
Wait 1 second.
Go ahead.
Going back to Wemby, there was one play that he ran there. I can't remember if it was against the Heat. He gave like a give and go to the wing. They gave him a lob, yeah. And this guy is probably outside. I'm trying to think. He was outside the key, yeah. He's literally just jumped, caught it, and dunked. And I was like, this is not good. Everybody else.
Wemby is actually very scary.
And he's not. We haven't even seen what the max can be.
I think when he first, not that I want to focus on Spurs or Wemby particular, but when we first saw him and people were talking about him, they were like, oh, there was like the likes of Bobo. Like they were like, oh yeah, but we've seen Bobo. He's not gonna be like Wemby is scary.
Yeah, he's different to Bobo. Man.
Like completely. Yeah. Like his handles are very good.
Yeah.
Like his jump shot, really good. Really good. Mm-hmm. And his defense, I don't know what you do. What do you do?
Yeah, like the thing with Wemby is when they compare him to Bobo's like a lower level archetype of KD. Wemby's his own guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Wemby's a unicorn. That's KD's a unicorn. You know what I mean? Even Porzingis was a unicorn. Yeah. Like you can see Bobo's like you see KD, you model your game after KD. It's not the same thing. He was never going to be like number 1 draft pick.
No, of course
or anything like that. It's not the same thing.
Yeah. And I swear.
I was going to say, any other teams you looking at?
I saw some of OKC because I was interested in Chet. it was number 2 last year. A lot was expected of him. Then, as we mentioned, he's got injured, so he's lost the whole season. He's bulked up a little bit, not too much. I saw him against Wemby, where they had their little game where they faced off for I think 2 quarters, and that was interesting because they played before, like I think internationally. Now they've had their little introduction. Now they're gonna see each other across their careers because they're both in the West. Chet looked good. He looked promising. Again, OKC have drafted quite well there. Um, I'm not gonna expect too much of him, but again, he's got handles. He defending well. He can block shots. He covers well. Um, they run plays for him. Well, they look like they
He's
will
got a
do.
good cast around him as well.
He's
Man.
got a really good
He's got a
cast.
good young backcourt.
They've
Yeah.
got a good young cast. I think that's what will help OKC.
Yeah.
They
They're gonna go.
they're gonna grow together.
Are we keeping Shea in the young bracket anymore? Has he graduated the young bracket?
He's still how old is he?
He's still young, I believe. He's 24.
And this is like 5th, 6th season.
I believe he's still.
Let me
He's young enough to be young, but he's mature enough to be able
Yeah,
to lead the team.
I feel like he's
Yeah.
I feel like he's graduated.
Fair play.
I think last year was his breakout. I feel like he's graduated that young boy level.
I've watched a bit of the Bucks. I wanted to see,
Yeah, me
what
too.
Giannis and Dame would gel like. I'll be honest, there wasn't a lot to take away from what I saw, but they've got. I mean, when you have those levels of players, it doesn't take much. You just have to understand very quickly, like we said, that who's the lead and who's the secondary or whatever you want to put it, 1A and 1B. Like, I think they will figure that out over the season, but the depth of the roster didn't look as good as I thought. But again,
No, the depth has dropped.
yeah, but again, let's see. Defensively, they're not going to have Holiday to stop perimeter
That was one of
players.
the big issues because Dame was getting dunked on and blown by a lot. That wouldn't happen to him.
And they also lost this guy to Suns. Oh my days, I forgot his name. Allen.
Grayson
Allen,
Allen.
Yeah. So they've lost some defense on that perimeter
And that's outside shooting as well.
and outside shooting. They will have to pick up the slack on that end, just the scoring side of it. The defense, well, they've always been top 10. I think the Bucks for the last few seasons on the defensive end. So
Yeah, you got Giannis and you got Lopez. Your
Lopez.
interior defense is
Portis
gonna
is still there.
Portis is there. So I think Robin Lopez is there now.
Robin
as well.
Lopez
So that's
is there.
activity.
Yeah, they've got enough, but it's just how do they, when it comes to crunch time, how are they gonna defend some of the more dangerous
I
backcourts?
think they will have to change a little bit because maybe when Dane gets put in the pick and roll, you send them into the bigs now, more so than when Drew Holiday was there. But me,
Fair.
specifically, I was more watching the offense to see how they're going to work. They got a new coach, some new schemes.
Yeah.
The offense was clunky. They was missing a lot of shots in the game I watched. What I did see was they were running sets early. So people were learning their roles, their X and their O's. I did see one good play that's going to be hard to be stopped. Whether it's Dane's coming up. No, sorry. The shooting guard's coming up, hands off to Dame. Giannis will come up, set the pick for Dame. They'll have a 2-man action. Then if Dame keeps the ball, he'll drive in. If he can't get to the rim, he'll kick it back to Giannis. Giannis will have a look. If nothing's on, Lopez is he's free at the free, and there's nobody that can block his shot because they've at that height. So that's a good little 4-man rotational play that they were playing. So I mean, Lopez will be open pretty much for the straight on free or on the corners when they run that play, depending if they run it from the sides or the shoulder.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that sounds. I mean, yeah, interesting for them. I'll be honest with you. I know you probably watched your boys.
Golden State. Yeah, I watched a couple of the games. They look good. We picked up a point guard in the draft. I can't remember his full name, but he looked good handling the ball.
How many point guards you got with Steph over there? No, sound like you got a roster for him, point guarding and that.
We've got 3 point guards.
Okay.
We don't know if the young boy is gonna be playing regularly. I think who I've been really impressed by, Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah,
He has. He's.
I'll
I
hold
think
judgment myself.
I think this will be a breakout season for him. He looks really good. Obviously, Green has not been around because Green is injured, so Chris Paul has been starting. Well, when he has played, he started. I think it looks good. Paul at the one.
Clay's making shots. From what I saw, Clay's making
Ooh.
shots.
You'll never not beat.
That I think in the first game I watched, he missed a bunch before he
Rhythm.
made one. But
Rhythm.
then when he made one, he was
Started
making everything.
Yeah, and he's making tough shots.
Yeah,
Sounds like
yeah.
he's back to normal.
I think I've always said we'll be good. We'll be good. I think we will definitely be good.
So we can say and he's back fully now.
Yeah, I mean
Any improvements or just
it's just about the same. Just about the
Who
same.
that Wiggins?
Yeah. I think we have a really strong core team, and I don't think he gets enough credit. But Looney, I think, is actually a decent center.
Yeah, I don't think Kerr's developed Wiggins enough, in my opinion.
Why? Why do you say that?
Defensively,
Defensively, he's improved. I think offensively, he's not giving him enough of a role in the team. It's almost like just the leftovers after they've run about 50 options and actions for Steph and a few for Clay. Then they might give a couple to.
But it's a bit hard. It is a bit hard to give options for Wiggins when let's take a look at their title run. Yeah, when you're running actions for Steph firstly, then you're running it for Clay, then you're running it for Paul before you're running it for Wiggins, and like it's difficult to get him involved offensively in that way
Why?
because you've got 3 men ahead of you.
that has always been Golden State Warriors offense though. It's centered around Clay and Steph. Like I said before, KD just gets in where he fits in. So essentially on offense, Harrison Barnes is what Andrew Wiggins is.
Is what
17 points.
exactly.
They have to
So
evolve.
it looks different when there's KD. Well, that's down to Kerr's coaching. But if you look at Andrew Wiggins, he's Harrison Barnes with better defense, more height,
More
and
veteran.
hopefully he can score more points. You know what I mean? From broken plays or picking up the pieces, or he just got to improve his jump shooting.
Mm.
I think he gets enough plays run for him for his position in the team. He's going to be well now obviously Paul's gone. Is he your third option or your fourth option if CP3 is on the floor?
He will get the third most shots because Chris Paul only takes safe shots.
Safe shots, yeah, that's true.
And
But he
Draymond
spots.
doesn't really shoot, although he said he's been working on his shooting.
We'll see.
But old Draymond was a scorer.
He can score.
You remember? I think the
Scorer is a stretch, actually. wait.
okay.
Scorer is
He
a
could
stretch.
shoot.
Yeah,
He could
yeah,
shoot.
he
Let me
can make a
not say
bucket.
scorer. I take that one back.
Yeah.
He could shoot,
Yeah.
but because I think the game 7,
Yeah.
he had.
Draymond should be getting like at least 12 points a game.
Yeah, I'm always surprised when I see him with like 2, 3, 6. Funny numbers.
Draymond should average 12 points a game.
I don't know.
But he
Adds more
the
elsewhere.
role he started to facilitate a lot more than
Yeah,
what he
but
was.
Sometimes he's over facilitating. Sometimes he's got the
That's-
he's
fair.
got the speed advantage. Like he's decent finish at the rim. Like 12 points a game is not difficult.
That's fair. I am going to be interested to see where, for example, Kuminga fits into all of this when we get into the nitty gritty of the season, because he's coming off the bench. He's probably coming 7th, maybe 8th off the bench. Depending on rotation, matchups, all of that stuff. So, what is just like you said, you don't think Kerr's progressed Wiggins enough. For Kuminga to progress, he actually needs to play.
No,
So,
that's
but
true.
how much is he going to play and how much is he going to be involved? Is he simply running second unit junk minutes, fourth quarter to get his looks? Is he?
That's up to him. He's just got to improve his offense because he never had a jump shot inside. It was all dunks and layups and rolls to the rim and stuff like that, and backdoor cuts.
In a monstrous
He's
dunk
gonna
in
have
one
to show
game,
some
though.
type of. Yeah, he's a freak athlete, but he's gonna have to show more than that. He'll be out the league. You know what I mean? So
Out the league is
what's
harsh.
GP2 see?
He's a defensive guy, bro.
Okay, so he hasn't improved anything on offense. He hasn't developed like a.
He's a defensive guy.
He hasn't developed a.
He'll get your
outside
rebounds
shot.
and your steals. That's what he's getting you.
If it works.
Well, I've watched a few Suns games. They're just going off star power at the minute, and like I said, it's defense and then star power, quick transitions. They just want to get out and get easy baskets for the other guys.
Yeah, because you know why? Though? If they can do that, teams won't be set for them one of them three. That's the thinking. I mean, Booker mid range three, he's got it. Bill the same, and KD we already know. So it will be difficult to. And if they get in trouble, dunk it down low. Nurkic should be close to the rim. He can make a play. So I don't blame him, but I don't like it personally.
That young center they got, I can't remember his name. His name's slipping my mind, but he looked like he's got activity. And he's surprisingly he's got a few blocks in. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that in regular season with the more athletic, better players, but I like the energy from him. Watanabe looks good. He's hitting shots.
Oh yeah, he's a good.
adding
I like
height.
him. Yeah, he's defensive as well. He'll be a dog on the
Yeah,
defensive.
I'm not expecting nothing from Bobo. Well, Watanabe is like KD's understudy, innit? KD brings him along, kind of. I'm not expecting nothing from Bobo. He looks tired already. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting nothing from him.
You know, I tried to look into one Lakers game, but just to see how LeBron is. By the time I looked at him, man sitting on the bench.
That was against Golden State. Yeah, he only played.
He don't want to show his hand.
He only played the first half.
Trying to hold back and not.
Half time he was.
We know what he's on
the
anyway.
bench eating food.
Come on, man. I'm up here trying to check to see what you're going to be saying. To be fair, you already know what the King's on. It's more AD with the Lakers anyway. What he's about to do.
That Lakers game, the Lakers Golden State, which is the first preseason game I watched involving the Lakers. They started off shooting really well. They started off lacing threes.
The roster for that.
Yeah, they've got an outside shot, definitely.
Yeah, because that was the criticism of them last year that no one can make a shot.
Well, I'm not expecting much from the Lakers because I saw a man Bolo Christian Wood to the floor. Step over his head. The Cardinals seen in basketball. Step over his head. And Christian Wood just got his hands up like this. Like, how dare you? No retaliation, no nothing.
Preseason, what you want me to do though? Preseason, what you want me to start?
Do you know?
Come on, man.
Do you know what made me laugh?
It's preseason, so you get away with the bowl.
I think he said he's marked the game on his calendar.
What to get for it to happen again?
I don't know if he can even get minutes. I don't know what minutes he's looking at to be marking it on his calendar like that.
It looks
That's a bit peak though. Imagine he's marked it on his calendar.
You don't even play.
Same time he's got like junk minutes. Giannis already dropped 40.
Yeah, man, they're supposed to be an enforcer, man.
Oh,
Come in there and be a bit more tough and have some enforcement. I think that's one thing the Lakers are.
You should though.
That I think it's that whole sequence was funny. And then Giannis took the picture, posted on Instagram, tagged the man. Like, that's
But
crazy.
Going back to Giannis and the preseason, you see him complaining. I don't understand. He's doing things like that when he was complaining that Lakers trapped Dame on the first play.
They were sending doubles.
Send him a quick.
You see this before with Booker, don't it? Booker's crying that they were doubling him in a it wasn't even a preseason.
That was a gym workout. Yeah. But the thing is, I don't see it, why people will complain. Look, everybody's trying, especially the preseason, they're trying to work out their own stuff. So if they want to see what you're gonna do with Dame, then he should be thinking, this is good. We can figure this out from now. You know, we can figure out what we're gonna do, how we're gonna work our way around, rather than later on in the season start figuring these things out. So Giannis should be like, yeah, okay, we figure this out now, and then we're good.
I watched I think it was about 10 or 15 minutes of a Clippers game. The three were on the court, not for all of it, but for a big part of what I watched. Westbrook looked good, you know. I think I'm gonna have to say sorry to Westbrook because I've been disrespectful to him in the group a lot. But he's definitely evolved his game. He understands the position he's in now, and he plays that position well. I think he said that he didn't want to come off the bench, which is, you know, it's fair enough to him. I don't think he should be coming off the way he's playing.
Not the Clippers.
The way he's playing now, he shouldn't be coming off the bench.
He's hometown. He's doing his thing.
And the way he closed in the playoffs.
That's true. Yeah,
I think he's earned the right to have a little.
Kawhi was looking good.
I think
It all looks good. It's just, are you healthy?
I think the league and a lot of reporters and media and fans, if that guy comes back and looks like the Toronto version, I think a lot of people are going to be upset and pissed off because that version of Kawhi was top end.
Do you know how many games he played at Toronto? I need to check that out,
I
man.
think he was in the 60s. And Clippers have got Bones Island. I think they picked him up from Nuggets, in a trade. He looks like, why did they get rid of him? Kind of player. Like, what was the? Obviously, there was a reason for it, but I was like, okay, Clippers have him. I think they've got something there, and we already discussed them and what their expectations should be. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Like, we know the West is difficult.
It's a minefield.
Yeah, mate, it's crazy. So
Sacramento still look good. So they just, everybody get a little bit better from last year. You know what I mean?
Playing team.
Playing team.
Yeah, man.
They'll be better than that, man.
Playing
They
team.
were third in the West last year.
I don't think they're gonna drop off that much because
A playing team's wild.
Playing.
whoa, remember everybody
Seventh.
heard that,
7th.
Kings 7th.
7th. Playing
I
team.
even wanna go there.
They're one of the few teams that stay healthy. Health is wealth, man.
Fair enough. I mean, to be fair, we did say Fox could have a MVP.
He always goes under the
Forgetting
radar.
about Sabonis though.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's true.
20 and 10 guy.
He was they got.
He complains
Is
too
it
much though.
Halliburton? No.
Nah, Halliburton's
Oh,
at
they
Pacers.
got
He's got
It's somebody else.
Barnes. He's still there. Harrison Barnes still there.
Basic guy.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got
Sabonis-
credentials.
You know what? After the our playoff games with
There's someone else.
Hold on.
after our playoff games with the Kings, I stopped liking Sabonis. He complains too much.
What? You were talking about
Oh,
complaining. You got Draymond, bro.
He got Draymond
CP.
He got Draymond suspended. Yeah,
Draymond get himself suspended.
he got Draymond suspended. That's why we beat their ass. Point that out.
Bonus, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, McGee, Barnes, Len, Kevin Hunter, David Mitchell.
Kevin Herter.
Yeah, they got
he's
JaVale McGee. They picked up McGee.
Yeah.
Herter.
Kester Edwards from the Brooklyn Nets days. Yes, I mean, they're gonna be relying on their two big horses.
I haven't watched none of their preseason games.
I don't watch Kings like that.
Oh, they look
I'll
decent.
check in
They look
on
decent,
them.
man. They look decent, man.
I've watched
Yeah.
their preseason.
I think respect to them, but
all that
I
light,
watch them like
all
that.
that light, the
I
beam.
think they'll be a top 5 seed in the West. Me personally.
Wow.
Good for them.
It's just whether they
Playing.
show growth in the playoffs, who their matchup is.
That's the key for them. If they get matched with the right, they're gonna find themselves
At home
deep down
again.
front.
They'll find themselves at home again.
I hope you avoid them.
We'll beat them.
Any
No
surprise in the
You
East?
can't stop Fox.
We don't need.
Your backcourt ain't stopping De'Aaron Fox, mate.
Is he going to score 60 points a game? No.
You don't need to.
Okay.
Him and Sabonis will get to 70 alone.
Okay.
I know it's just Steph
easy,
there.
That's easy work.
It's just there.
that's
Unless
easy
you're
work.
including Wiggins to carry some of
No,
the scoring.
Got
line.
some leadership in JaVale McGee, some championship
Yeah,
experience.
Okay.
That's rejections at the rim.
Steph is giving you 45.
I don't remember the last time he did that.
Steph is giving you 45. Anyway, in the East, Cavs. Didn't watch much. They look okay. They look decent. I watched the Heat. I think shout out Cons who couldn't make it today, but Cons said something last week, I believe. They need a trade, man. They need something. It's not as much as I've sat here and talked about them and said they've got good coaching and they've made, I think, 3 of the last 5 conference finals and so on and so forth. But what I was looking at when they was playing, man, they need something. They need another presence.
Just feels they got a high level of excellence, but at the same time, it feels stale. You know what I mean? Like just get Zach Levine from the Bulls. Do something.
You know,
man.
we've thrown a lot of shade towards them, yeah. But we could be sitting here in May being like, oh, yeah, by the way, Miami Heat are in the finals.
Yeah, no, we
No, legit. Like,
legit,
it could just
100%.
happen like that. Because they just seem to have a know-how. Even with the roster as it is, and we've looked at the roster, you're like, then you blink, 82 games, they're scrapping to make playoffs. You blink again, the finals, you're like, I'm watching Miami again. And you're hoping that they can somehow make a series out of it, and then you just get.
I don't. If they still got the same roster, I don't want to watch them in the finals.
I saw
You know
some.
they're not gonna win.
Yeah, I saw some sneaky comment that they might make a big move. Deal Hero, they got a whole heap of picks. Deal Hero, try to look at Donovan Mitchell, that sort of move, that sort of angle. Yeah, I saw that one of the, when you just scrolling through Twitter and you just say, oh, look,
Yeah,
potential.
I just don't want to see any more of this Harden stuff.
No,
Mitchell's
Harden
that
was linked as well.
I know,
Cavs.
but I just don't. I
Cavs.
don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Harden at the Heat.
Do you reckon Cavs would? Because Cavs they've got a good squad there. You
Got a
think
good
you
squad.
think Cavs are giving up Mitchell to
Yeah.
get Hero and
Hide him.
picks?
If you know he's leaving, because he's out, it seems like he's New York bound.
Yeah, he wants big market like
I
that.
mean, so you just trade him. So
Get rid of him. Miami.
you get
can
Hero
afford
and
him.
you get picks.
And they got this kid called Bates. They drafted. I remember KD was talking about it before the draft. Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
the locks thing.
So I was like,
So
let
like
me
he's the steal of this. I've been reading stuff like he's the steal of the the draft.
jumper smooth, 15 foot and on, smooth, handles well. He might be a surprise. Obviously I don't want to talk like rookie watch, but like, he might be a surprise for them. And in addition, where they say, well, we can trade Mitchell, bring in Hero. We've still got a point guard who's very good. We've now got a 2 guard. We've still got the rest of the roster. Their 4 and 5 is locked. They still got off the bench this guy from they traded from the Nets. I forgot his name. So they've still got good squad.
With the history of the franchises,
No,
Cavs gonna make that trade. They're gonna please.
Cavs are known
LeBron
for
tax.
making moves, man. So we'll see. But yeah, it could be interesting on that in the East side. What happens?
Cool. So yeah, I think the season starts next Tuesday.
week.
Next Tuesday. So there's a few more preseason games, but I think they're just gonna be playing players just to get them reps in.
Some people are ramping it up. Some are gonna, think, okay, I'm gonna take a notch down. I know where I'm at. And then obviously when it comes to game one tip off, it's lights camera action.
Yeah.
Already I'm expecting from certain people. So
Yes.
be watching
Please,
with
no bad
eagle eye.
injuries. Game day 1.
Yeah, man.
Do you know,
Is that
what's
some
mad?
type of curse?
There's always one.
Yeah.
There's always one,
injuries.
but
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
this season, I want to see every team healthy. Let's give 82. Let's have that
No
season.
season
As
enders.
possible, especially at the end of the season.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because it's been a while. Every year we're looking at season ender. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Give us one where it's not even. We know minor injuries, like little injuries here and there, but let's not get those big season enders. Let's have a nice 82, God willing, and then we can crash into the playoffs with everybody locked and loaded. No excuses coming from Golden State or none of these other franchises, man.
Why are we always doing that, bro? Why are we always doing that? Why Golden State? We don't make excuses, but we just win.
It was nice about he lost this guy.
Anyway, moving away from the NBA for a bit, looking at prospects, people coming to the NBA. In the news this week, there's a big prospect. Well, I don't think he's going to make the NBA again now, but big prospect Mikey Williams was arrested now due to stand trial for, I think it's gun charges. What do we think about the culture of up and coming players? We've seen it we've seen what's happened with Jar in the league. Again, influence from outside. Obviously, let's face it. A lot of the NBA is full of players coming from not so privileged backgrounds, right?
Nicely put.
I don't
If we put
think that's the case with him, though. Or
But
Josh.
it's not.
Nice back.
It's not. He is. Both him and Joe are from nice backgrounds, but the culture that they're influenced by is filled up of people from not so privileged backgrounds, and there's always that. You want to show that you are, for want of a better term, about it, just like how the others will be about it. So, obviously him being arrested, all of that, it's gonna put a big hindrance to him ever making it. Even if he doesn't end up incarcerated, I still think it's going to put a big hindrance on him actually making the league. But what do you guys think about, that whole basketball culture and the culture of outside influences to basketball? I don't want to say the things
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
say because
Well,
you know
I mean, look, this guy can bust case all he wants. He didn't get into the league. I think that door may be closed on him. But it's funny how you mention it there. Ja and this kid, they're not from the bottom.
they're not.
It's almost as if they've said, "Well, I need to, I need to, I need to show that I've got street credentials more than the street guys, because there's street guys in the league." And it's funny, they don't come into the league acting
DeRozan.
like that. We know about the Rose and all these other. So we've got street guys in the league. We've got guys that come from the hoods, the slums, from all across the world in the league. They don't come into the league and act like that. They understand this is my opportunity to, guess what, get out and leave that life behind me. My kids can leave that life behind them, their kids, and so on and so forth. So when you see these ones from like the nice or the more privileged backgrounds, and they're acting like this, you think, well, you too spoiled. Where was, you know what I mean? Like, where's you, like, because really and truly, we've got people in the league that came from nothing, and they're conducting themselves like they know this is their opportunity to now make millions, untapped money, have careers, have lifestyles what you can only dream of, and then you have this on the flip side. So, unfortunately, I think he ain't gonna get to the league, and that chapter might close on him quickly.
It depends on the case, because obviously, if he busts case, I think they'll let him ride out college and try and smooth him into the league. You might have to do 2-3 years in college.
Has he been suspended from
Well,
participation?
how is this name slipping my mind? Penny Hardaway. He's supposed to go and play for his college team.
Okay.
Memphis. So he
Memphis.
up until the verdict. Last thing I saw was the scholarship was still open up until the verdict, but I don't know if it's been taken away since then. But if anybody would allow him to play, it would be Penny.
Fair.
You know what I mean? He's a basketball man, so
Fair.
he's a bit more understanding and stuff. And obviously he cares about the youth. That's one of his whole things. Of going back to coach, so that mentorship, that leadership, that this is an opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity that most people don't get, and I'm going to give you a second chance even to try and live your dreams. But to me, it just comes down to critical thinking. You know what I mean? With these young men these days, which they don't have critical thinking. Everything's instant gratification, and I want what I want now. And if someone disrespects me, I'm gonna hurt them now because it's all on the camera and the video. So it's like there was no need for him to do what they did. They was in the car and they was driving away. Why do you have to then shoot?
You think it's a case of there's too much too soon, especially for the young ones? Like they have instant fame, and as you said, for someone that's coming from such a privileged background that he did come from, when he looks around his peers, they're not. Most of them are not like that. So it's a case of maybe he wants to fit in. He wants to show that I can be like you guys. But
Yeah, but if you're a street guy, I understand that response, because if you're a street guy and somebody can rob you or make you look like a fool and all that kind of stuff, you kind of have to retaliate to have less stress in life. Because once people see that you're weak, the walls will come. So that's why that response is kind of necessary. But with him, you got such a bright future. You're going places. You know what I mean? You just have to have the critical thinking, like the bigger picture sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you need to carry a gun, you don't need to be there.
America's
honestly
different though.
You know what I mean?
America's different though.
Carry
No,
guns
say
to go
that.
to the supermarket.
Yeah, but is he even old enough to own a gun
You
legally?
can buy a gun
Is
in
he
the
old?
supermarket.
But is he legally old
Buy it
enough to have a
online.
gun? Does he have a license?
I don't know the laws in every
I-
state in that country.
yeah, I don't
These are
know.
the things you'd have to ask. You know what I mean? But I don't believe he is, because he's still a high schooler. But that's the gun laws in America is crazy, man. Even if you do have guns, I still think you should be at least 30 before you can legally get a gun and all of that kind of stuff.
if they hear when they hear that point from you, they're gonna mute you, bro. They don't care. Yeah, their country's built on that. But it is sad. I'm not gonna deny it's sad. But again, you have to think is that there's got to be there's a lack of thinking. Maybe I wouldn't say education, but it's like why are you not thinking properly? Why is it that you feel this is the option for yourself?
But they're still young, though. They're still very, very young.
So then it's a lack of guidance.
Maybe that's what it is.
It's
I don't want to
possible.
keep blaming the age stuff, man, because you see,
Try not to.
everyone of all ages does this stuff now.
Yeah, I'm trying not to blame age.
That's
I'm just
fair.
thinking maybe lack of guidance. The future is
Either you
bright.
got sense or you don't.
I think, like, if you think about how he was talked about, just from a basketball sense, he was definitely going quite high. If he carried on this
I think
trajectory,
his height was an issue, but other than that,
but he would have gone quite high in the draft.
Yeah.
but just even in the NIL deals, he would have made millions.
Yeah, millions.
Mm.
We're gonna come on to NIL deals in a second, but yeah, he would have done. He would have made quite a bit of money. It's sad to see, man. Like I think when I saw it, I was like, damn, like such a like just your
You hate to
whole
see wasted
career
talent. You hate to see
gone.
wasted talent.
Yeah.
It's gone.
That's. I mean, imagine all the kids around the world trying to get to the league for one of those spots on one of those rosters, even G League, and you're projected to land in that league,
Comfortably.
chilling, and this is your action. It's a mad move still.
I'm just gonna ask one more question, Lamps.
So true.
Is it the music?
Music. How can it be music? How are we blaming music?
Basketball, music, they go rap music, they go hand in hand. No,
It's a mad statement, though.
no, you don't think so.
I
You
mean,
don't think it has any influence at all? I'm not saying it does, by the way. I'm just asking the question.
I mean, monsters categorically no. Um, Rap music, the culture has been around for a long time now. It's easy to blame music as a answer for these things. Sometimes you have to look at the individual or the individuals or the groups and say they're out of control. There's bigger fish. There's bigger things at work here, things at play here that are contributing to these factors. Um, there's access to all kinds of weapons, access to all kinds of drugs, access to all kinds of nonsense. To us to say, well, it's music.
Everybody knows what the biggest precursor to violence is, and it's poverty.
But he wasn't poor.
He wasn't poor, but what about the people that caused the incident with him? Were they poor? Were they trying to rob him? What was the issue? But I'm not talking about in terms of that particular situation. But now we're in an environment where people's mind are impoverished, so they have a impoverished set of mind. So even if you have stuff, you still want more. You're still greedy. Then on top of that, you've got the culture. Where you say music, it's not just music. It's It's all media.
That's fair.
It's
That's a fair point.
cinema. So it just runs in the background. It's on autopilot now.
Yeah, it's true.
And where I say where you got the critical thinking and the sense and the home training. You know what I mean? Like all our parents here are not from the Western world. There's a different upbringing and teaching we have. When you step out there, you don't embarrass your parents and you don't do certain things. That's not where we come from. You know what I mean? So the American story is a bit different. You know what I mean? So I do have some sympathy there, but right now it's like even you talk about the music, everyone's parents at that age, they grew up listening to hip hop as well. So they're inclined to be a certain way. You know what I mean? So it kind of just runs in the background now. So you can't point out one thing. For me, is the main thing is you have to raise the consciousness. You've got to do the critical thinking. You've got to be aware. And you can't have sometimes this FOMO stuff, fear of missing out. It's okay to miss out, man.
100%, man.
It's okay to miss out. You know what I mean? Me personally, if I'm going somewhere that I think is dangerous, I'll say I'm not going. Done it plenty of times in my youth.
Smart man. Me.
I think we've all been in precarious situations, but before we move on from this, I just want to say if you're a kid and you're listening to this and you have got a prospect in any sport, get the
Life,
right
though. life is your prospect.
True. That's a fair point. Just get the right people around you at all times. You know, you don't have to. You don't, as Ash was just saying, if you think it's gonna pop off where you're going, you don't need to be there. There is no need for you to be there.
You can skip one night of enjoyment for 50 years of great fun and accomplishment. You know what I mean? The parties will be more lit when you're the guy.
True.
That's how you do it.
True.
I don't know. You're the party guy. What is it so special?
Aye.
Killing me,
So
man.
there's a special plug there for Mr. Ams's event night.
I hear you.
Taking it back to basketball though, obviously the NBA season starts in a week, but there has been basketball that's been happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Preseason.
no, not preseason. The WNBA
Sorry about that.
is at the final stage at this moment in time. I think it's New York Liberty versus Aces.
Vegas.
Vegas Aces. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched a single game,
Okay.
but I have watched some highlights.
Right.
Same.
The basketball. Talking about the basketball itself,
Mhm.
I mean it's not bad.
I like the fundamentals.
It's not bad. It's not bad basketball. They've got some decent players.
Yeah.
You know, I think Sabrina Onyescu or something like that. She shoots threes.
Okay.
I think she actually has the 3-point
Oh, yeah,
record
yeah.
for most 3-pointers in the 3-point contest. You know, beating the likes of Steph.
Which line is that though?
No, it's the
The
3-point.
NBA line.
It's the NBA line.
Oh, okay.
3-point line.
I just have to make sure. If it's a different competition, if it's not, it's a different college line. The college line is not the NBA line, is it? It's not the same thing.
Wow.
It's not the same thing. You don't try to make me look bad. I'm just asking what line it is.
It's the normal line. Bro.
Yeah, it's the normal line. No,
There's different lines, isn't it?
Yeah, no, there are.
Then I think I'm not gonna lie. I don't know all of the players'
Yeah.
names, but I think there's just through media and stuff. Kelsey Plum, I think, is also there. I think
Basically, the three backcourt players for the Vegas team are excellent.
Okay.
The point guard's name is slipping my mind, but she's cold.
No,
She's
but what?
dropping dimes like Magic Johnson, bro.
Yeah, what you said
Cold.
though was right.
Kelsey
I think
Gray or something like that.
Yeah, she's cold.
the fundamentals
Cold.
and
Chelsea Gray.
across women's sports, I always find that their fundamentals are really good. So you'll see that they do the right. They try to do the right things all the time, especially if you're looking at it from a tactical standpoint or from a scheme standpoint, whatever it might be. They're always trying to follow it through correctly, rather than when you look at the men's game, there may be a bit more freestyle to it. I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of this particular finals matchup, but I have seen the odd clip here and there. I feel like the WNBA are one of many women's sports that are on the rise, which is really good to see. I feel like they need to, with time, these things take time to get to the level they obviously want their sport to get to, or the sport to get to. And it's going in the right direction. It's getting a lot more airtime. It's getting a lot more. They're being
But
discussed more.
Is it getting enough airtime?
I'm
though?
talking about in comparison to even, let's say, 5 years ago.
Sure.
It's getting more and more airtime as you go along. But there's just little things they can do off the court a bit better. Like I saw the fashion walk when I was doing my research. I was like, ladies got to step it up a bit. You know what I mean? That's an area where you can draw some more eyes and get some more sponsorships and stuff like that.
Some of their outfits are pretty good, you know.
They're just better than Jimmy Butler. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean?
Compliment or a shot, bro.
But like, just bring it back to what I said about are they getting enough airtime? Like when you watch like the main sports shows that we watch, your First Takes, Undisputed, you know, Colin Cowherds, they're not mentioned, and you, the finals is happening right now.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not mentioned. So, like, are they getting the right amount of airtime?
Yeah, I guess you could say that because there was more noise with the college championships.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then even me, I was shocked that they're playing at this time of the year. I would have thought their finals ended somewhere near the NBA finals. You You know what I
I
mean?
They
think
don't get no airtime then.
I think their season kind of starts around playoffs.
But
Makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So me, I'm thinking that's near the end, isn't it? But I would have thought there has been a little drive by. I know a lot of some of the lady presenters like Kerry Champion and stuff,
Mhm.
where they do the female games now, or the women's games. Excuse me. So they've gone into that arena to try and boost that up on that side of the game. So I think this. I think it just takes time, man.
The thing is this, yeah. If you think about the men's NBA world and how that's progressed over the years and how long it took to get to this point, you can't expect the women's game to just like that. It
That's a fair
must take
point.
time. The men's game, it took time in the 70s, it didn't get media coverage, and then you got technology changes. By the 80s, you've gone from recording games to maybe the odd game now shown. Then you get
Right.
into the 90s, national television and European or international coverage. We was getting it, like, remember Channel
You,
4 and that.
Yeah.
you couldn't
In the
even get
90s.
the whole finals. You're getting
One
game
game.
1, game 4,
Yeah,
game
you get
6.
sporadic games. We've gone to getting it in the UK now, or with access to all types of media, we can watch as much as possible. You know, Fire Sticks and all this,
Got
but even
League
still,
Pass.
you've got League Pass now, so it's taken years. It's taken technology changes, and that's where the strength is. That's where it's difficult for the women's sport to just say, you know, give us the viewers straight away. I'm not saying that that's what they're saying. I'm saying we want them to have more, but ultimately these things will take some time.
Yeah, it's financial as well. You got to have financial proof. Like the women's SWO, they had to have some financial proof before they got more on TV.
Mhm.
The national team started doing well. It was a bit more competitive across the board with the Champions League and stuff. So the money's got to flow into it. You know, I mean, the problem with the basketball is it's very American centric. You know what I mean?
What
Well,
So
do you, what,
it's going to
the
be
women's game.
well, the NBA is like just up here, and the rest of the leagues are kind of down here. You know what I mean? So it's in terms of women's sport, in terms of there's even less teams, the season's even shorter.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So
like
the level of competition.
But
they don't do the East West thing either. It's like the top 8 teams
yeah,
by win percentage make the playoffs.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Stuff like
American
that.
sports fascinating because as I think you mentioned some of the college sports over there,
Are
D1,
bigger.
NFL, what
Yeah.
Yeah.
rammed out 50,000 stadiums,
Yeah. So
rammed out
Do you know what's,
national televised games. Come
there
on,
was
man.
there was a women's college basketball game. I forgot the lady's name, but she plays for Iowa. They were playing in front of 60,000 people. Like,
Different,
it's a college
different.
game.
Can you imagine?
yeah, but you got to remember it could be a rivalry game. So you've got the boosters, you've got the old alumni. It's the whole.
Bro,
Your fan base is already there. Your fan base
60,000.
only goes up.
But they're
Your fan base never goes down.
60.
but you think
Emirates is 61, I swear.
yeah.
Yeah, but how big is America compared to?
No,
Like,
fine.
but
Yeah.
the numbers are the numbers.
I don't think I'll need to fact check this. But I don't think even a WNBA Finals game is getting
Mm.
60,000.
Yeah, but that's what I said to you. You got everyone that's ever been to that college can go to that game. You got your fan base only
I
grows.
get
It
what you're
doesn't shrink.
saying.
And
However,
especially if it was a
people still attend.
especially if it was a rivalry game where we don't get on with that college
I think it's fact. I
or
mean,
university.
we was over here. We didn't. I mean, our union and college game.
Yeah, it's me.
As a
It's,
kid,
it's
maybe
complete.
you get a couple of the brothers.
You could not find me in a Greenwich University.
Maybe you get a couple of the
Easy.
brothers come through and see you. But that will be it.
Yeah.
Over there, they're doing stadium and that,
It's crazy.
like professional team stadium. Like, come on, man.
But even keeping it at the college thing, yesterday we had the comment from the big Shaq.
Mhm.
He's what's her name? Angel Reese.
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese signed to Reebok. You know, that's good. That's gonna be a massive NIL
Got
deal.
already.
Yeah, like it's so it's crazy to think about because someone like Shaq said she is like the most influential person in basketball is as it stands today.
As in the whole sport.
He said basketball.
Right.
So do you take it as the whole sport or just the women's basketball? I don't
I
know.
think Shaq is being on one hand he's being very respectful and polite, and on the other hand, he's also being disrespectful. You're talking about the whole basketball, the sport.
I think it's just marketing from Shaq.
So polite and this the most influential.
Because think about it. The first taker talking about this, Undisputed are talking about this. Who's the most influential
Is
person in
Shaq a Reebok
basketball?
guy? I honestly don't know. He's not.
No,
Is he?
but yeah, he's Reebok. He's got him and AI got a position in Reebok. Remember they had Shaq had was it the Sonics?
And that's how this thing
And
works, bro.
obviously AI's got his trainers.
Double check that.
But they gave them both positions in Reebok. So that's why and the first person they picked was Angel Reese to get the contract. But also Shaq is LSU alumni.
Okay, yeah,
that is true.
And Shaq is her mentor.
See, he's
And-
connecting the dots. It makes sense.
You know what I
These
mean?
comments
So
are now
all
adding up.
But it just makes sense. She's a fashion icon as far as women's sports.
I'm not taking nothing away from her.
She looks good on the court.
Mhm.
She speaks well.
Mhm.
She stands up for herself. A lot of women respect that. She looks good. She looks the part. She looks good in a dress.
We know
She-
now.
But how many times you gonna say she looks good,
She
bro?
does,
What
she
I'm
does.
saying is,
No, we
in
hear
terms of
you,
Reebok, she looks good in she looks good in athletic wear.
Yeah,
She
looks
looks good
bro.
in a dress, right?
Uh,
Right. She looks good in like regular clothes.
About her play.
So it's perfect for
That's-
because they can market her across the spectrum
Oh no, okay. What?
and give her a line.
Man
Like-
said
like
nothing
Beyonce's line.
about her gameplay, you know.
Yeah, but
Not,
she
not
nah,
one
but
thing.
you didn't even let me get there before you jumped on me. And then what I was gonna say, she's a champion and she backs up with her gameplay.
No, she does. She does.
No, facts.
Those
I mean?
college finals, like she balled out.
Smoked.
She definitely balled out.
I'm
so-
surprised it took so long. She should have a Reebok deal, a Pretty Little Thing deal, a this and that deal.
Do you think Nike? You think Nike missed a trick there?
100%.
Why do you say no?
There'll be another one.
Was there?
There's always another one. This
Fair
is
enough.
sports, man.
Yeah, but Nike want them all.
There's always another
All right.
one.
So then, question. So, Angel Reese is the biggest thing in biggest influence in basketball right now. So let's say she declares for the draft. She gets drafted.
She's not stupid.
Wait, I haven't finished. She declares for the draft, right? Okay. She's gonna do her NIL deal. We know that because there's no money in the WNBA. But the point I'm trying to get to is that this biggest influence in basketball will end up in the WNBA, which barely gets any coverage. Do you think she is the person to change the amount of coverage that the WNBA is getting? Because you can't say from the one hand she's the biggest influence in basketball, then she goes into a basketball league and it's still not getting any coverage.
Well, that's how it works, isn't it? When you get like someone that's a star, superstar, or possibly could be, you get way more coverage. You've seen the effects of like when Messi left Barcelona, Ronaldo, like what happened to La Liga in terms of the viewership just dipped. When she gets in the league, she's still gonna have the rivalry with the young lady that she had in the college finals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and she's gonna have to prove herself. She's already got a story. You know what I mean? She's got all the backing of all the like the prominent black players already as well because of the way she carried herself during that final. You know, what I mean, I've seen her with LeBron. I've seen that Shaq. She got the mentorship of Shaq. Once you got the mentorship of Shaq, everyone in the league pretty much is going to speak to you. I've seen her doing stuff with Jar. I've also seen her just doing social media stuff where she's presenting. She's talking to like all them AMP guys like Duke Dennis and stuff like that. So she's in all kinds of markets.
She was even on the Breakfast Club, right?
She's on Breakfast Club. She was on all the podcasts, I Am Athlete, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm sure she'll probably be doing acting or something. Why not?
Yeah, you got to cash out, man.
You know what I mean? So
So to my question, do we think that she's the one that's going to bring more viewership to the WNBA and to get it
initially,
much wider exposure?
Initially, I think so. There'll be more coverage, more media coverage, especially if her team's doing well. And then it's up to not just her, but the other ladies coming with her and behind her to follow suit. So there's always the first person over the hill. We've had Lisa Leslie, then it died off. We've had Candice Parker, and it died off. So she's next now. Can she create a flood?
Fair enough. So, question to you guys: when she joins the league, are you watching games?
I mean, obviously, yes. I mean, I'm intrigued to see.
I'm not
what
just talking. I'm not just talking the first game that she plays in the league. I'm talking. Are we continuously watching like not? I wouldn't say like how we watch NBA, but you're still taking a keen interest in what's happening in that league.
I mean, listen, you know me for a long time. I follow all kinds of sports, so my interest is there. I will be keen to see how she gets on and see if there's any change to the sport itself. Um, unlike Ash, I feel like it might take a bit more time still, um, because the WNBA needs a storyline of some kind. I don't think this one is enough yet. I think it needs a storyline.
Need the
to get
magic
it
bird.
cooking. Yeah, that's what it needs. Ultimately, it needs something of that. Maybe if, with the beef she had with this,
You got the angel. You need the
yeah,
devil now. For
nah,
lack of a
for
better
real,
term.
nah,
Yeah.
for real though. Like there needs to be a storyline of some kind. And then it takes off. Even like after Magic Bird, you have Jordan, and you've got this guy that jumps through the air.
The legacy just continued.
It
And
just continues, and then you've got this guy coming out of high school, chosen one. You're like, whoa, and then see the storyline just propels and it builds, and then every generation follows this propelling character. So it will need that sort of level of storyline, I think, to take it to where they want it to get to. And I believe, yeah, it can happen, but maybe a bit more time is required.
yeah, like this is for me, the WNBA is like you've always had see like wrestling, you've had like Shawn Michaels and all those guys, yeah. But
Sure.
Hulk Hogan was the only person like doing films and in his era, and there was a big gap. And then you had Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H, like all back to back. You need something like that to just keep it moving.
Rock took it clear as
As
well.
you know what I mean?
Very clear.
So, so that's the thing. Like the WNBA, like you said, you had Lisa Leslie, then you had Candice Parker. You've had great players in between those times. Like you got Liz Cambridge and stuff like that. Now, I don't really mention her because I've seen some clips that I'm not too fond of. You know what I mean? But you've had good players, but in terms of a superstar, I think this is the first one that's like all out, all types of media. She dances, does a little bit of freestyling. Like I said, speaks well, could be a model, all types of stuff, and backs up with the play on the court. You know what I mean? So it's like she could, and Shaq is her mentor, and do you know what I mean? So it's the perfect mentor for her.
That's fair enough. I think it will be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, she's gonna get her. She's got her NIL deal, so what, at least another year in college, maybe a bit more, and then she'll enter the league. Um, yeah, I think on that note, I think we'll wrap it up for today. Thank you guys for being here today. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Sorry, bro. Very quickly.
Oh,
very quickly.
Amsa's pulled me back.
No, 1 second.
He's pulled me
So
back.
what? The season what is
Next Tuesday. Well,
Wednesday.
it's us for us. It's Wednesday morning.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we'll be all right. Cool. I was trying to figure out where we're gonna. Yeah, all right then. So I was figuring
We
out
should get the Spanish league sorted.
Or that one last year.
what that fake one you man are trying to run again. The fake commissioner,
Oh,
fake silver.
Yeah.
Call him man, you know.
just
Fake
for
silver, you know.
just for our viewers and
Gold.
Fake
just for our
silver.
viewers and listeners, we do take part in a ESPN NBA Fantasy League. You know, I think we'll post up the details if you do want to get involved. Obviously, I'm the current champion. Just so that
No,
everybody
we had
knows.
2 leagues though.
No.
Which league do you win?
No. Bro, we had the league. I don't know what that other league was.
We did 2 drafts, did we not?
I won the regular league. Which
What's
is just
sorry,
total amount of points,
Which one did we win?
and then Mike won the
the NBA
I
league?
didn't count that
the
thing.
team versus team league where it was me and Mike in the final.
Like how the NBA is done. You know, like you play each
Is that
other.
the one where one
Then you
league
get-
had 4 teams and another league had 3, and then
No.
someone was getting a buy? That's the one you won, isn't it? Yeah.
Let's just
Figured
say
there was
I
something dodgy
won the
there.
actual NBA league.
Big up you, isn't it?
But yeah, guys, thanks for being here again. As I said, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the rebound.
Yeah, man.